Hello viewers, I am Leopold Munende. The headlines. Chamisa says he misses Mnangagwa. ED fires Mufumira. In the courts, MDC Youth Secretary General demands trial date. In business, imports increase by another $20 million as raw products dominate export list. In sports, Sports and Recreation Commission reinstates the Zimbabwe Cricket Board. And now the news in greater detail. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has fired Tourism Minister Priska Mufumira. In a statement Thursday, Secretary to the President and Cabinet, Mishek Siwanda, said Mnangagwa, in accordance with the Constitution, had taken the decision to relieve Mufumira of her duties as a Cabinet Minister for conduct that is inappropriate for a government minister. Mufumira was arrested by the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission 2 weeks ago for her alleged role in the looting at the National Social Security Authority, as revealed by a forensic audit report. The now former minister is in remand prison awaiting trial. Her application for bail is still under consideration, with a ruling expected from the High Court. Opposition MDC leader Nelson Chamisa on Wednesday revealed he misses President Emmerson Mnangagwa, his sparring partner, during their days in parliament before the ZANU-PF leader roared on the back of a military coup to seize power in November 2017. Chamisa was addressing guests, friends and family of missing journalist cum political activist Itai Dzamara, who had gathered for the launch of a trust in Dzamara's honor. A former Kwazana East MP, Chamisa took power as MDC leader last February following the death of party founding leader Morgan Tsvangirai amid a nasty leadership dispute with then co-vice president Thokozani Kupe. Energy Minister Fortune Chasi, who is usually calm and composed, could not contain himself amid pressures of criticism on Twitter this Thursday and laid into one of his followers who had questioned why he was continuously giving excuses on the electricity crisis. Chasi, who recently clinched a 400 megawatt electricity supply relief deal from South Africa's Eskom, lashed out after a direct question that he did not take lightly. He accused his interlocutor of being political. Chasi is expected in Mozambique to hammer out another electricity supply deal in a bid to ease power blackouts that have left both domestic and industrial consumers reeling. The energy minister took over from Joram Gumbo a few months ago amid optimism that he was going to find lasting solutions to the fuel and power crisis. However, the situation seems to have worsened under his watch. Increasingly drought-prone Zimbabwe's efforts to tackle effects of climate change received a major boost recently, following the release of $10 million by the World Food Programme to strengthen early warning systems and use of climate information for agricultural programming. Agriculture Minister Perence Shiri told journalists in the eastern border city of Mutare last week that the fund will be used to tackle integrated climate risks management for food security and livelihoods, focusing on Masvingo and Rushinga districts. Shiri added that development of the project has been guided by the National Climate Change Response Strategy, supported by the National Climate Change Policy. In the courts, opposition MDC Youth Secretary General Gift Ostalos Siziba has indicated he would want to apply for refusal of remand at the next remand date if the state fails to furnish him with a trial date. Siziba is facing charges of incitement to violence connected to utterances he reportedly made at a rally in Glenora last month. He was arrested at the same time as party vice chairperson Job Sikala, who is facing charges of subversion. Sikala reportedly told a rally in Bikita that the opposition was plotting to overthrow President Emmerson Mnangagwa by force before elections scheduled in 2023. Both deny the charges. Siziba was further remanded to September 2 and is out on $100 bail with stringent reporting conditions that his lawyers indicated they would want relaxed. An application will also be made in this regard, according to Siziba's lawyer Moses Donsankomo, a member of the Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights. In business, the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe reports that imports into Zimbabwe increased by a further $20 million, while raw products dominated the export list, signifying declining manufacturing levels in the economy. According to the central bank's latest monthly economic review for the period ending May 2019, merchandise imports stood at $436.8 million, a 4.8% increase from the $416.7 million recorded in April 2019. In April, imports swelled by $88 million. The development shows President Emmerson Mnangagwa's wish for an upturn in the manufacturing sector has not worked, and a lot still needs to be done. We end with sports. Zimbabwe's representatives in the annual Confederation of African Football Continental Club competitions, FC Platinum and Triangle, will be hoping for a positive start when they kickstart their campaigns in the African Champions League and African Confederations Cup this weekend. FC Platinum will be the country's lone representative in the African Champions League after winning their second successive Premier Soccer League title last season, while Triangle will be making their debut in the CAF Confederations Cup after winning the Chibuku Super Cup last year. In other sports news, the Sports and Recreation Commission has relented to pressure after reinstating the Zimbabwe Cricket Board led by Tawengwa Mukhuhlane. In a letter to Mukhuhlane on Thursday, Sports and Recreation Commission Chairperson Gerald Mlojwa said the suspension had been lifted and all pending cases had been withdrawn. The suspension had triggered a backlash from the International Cricket Council, which suspended Zimbabwe from participating in the T20 World Cup qualifiers for both men and women's versions of the game, as well as closing funds due to the local cricket body citing government interference. Reporting for newzimbabwe.com, I am Leopold Munende. For these and more stories, please log on to our website www.newzimbabwe.com. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel NewzimTV and follow us on Twitter @newzimbabwe.com.